downtown San Diego 57. KOGO News Time 541.
As it turns out, the average American commutes to work about 25 minutes. Now, that's according to U.S. Census data, but many workers travel far above and beyond that number.
Joining us on the KOGO News Live line is health and wellness expert Dr. Pamela Smith. Thanks for joining us this morning, Dr. Smith. Well, 25 minutes doesn't sound too bad here in San Diego. How long are commutes in other cities?
Well, they're very long in some cities. I'm basically from Detroit, Michigan, and we make our money with cars there. There's no mass transit, so almost everybody in metropolitan Detroit drives an hour or more to work. So the commute can be quite long in major cities.
An hour or more each way?
Yes.
Oh.
So it does take a toll, as the studies have shown, on mood, stress, etc.
Yeah, let's get into that. So what does a commute like that, especially an hour, even 90 minutes, what does that do to your mental and physical health?
Well, for one thing, it really does stress you out, literally. We can now measure your stress hormone, which is called cortisol. And when we're stressed, cortisol goes up, it's supposed to come right back down. But if cortisol stays high, because you stay stressed all the time, like a long commute, then your cholesterol can go up, blood sugar can go up, blood pressure can go up, your thyroid that regulates the entire body doesn't work as well, and believe it or not, you can even put on weight. So kind of interesting when you stay stressed all the time.
Well, what are you supposed to do in terms of you have to drive to work, so you have to make the drive? How do you deal with it?
You do have to make the drive. So one of the things you can do, for example, is start out a little earlier, perhaps drive half the way, stop and have a really nice breakfast, and get back in your car and continue on, would be one way of decreasing that stress, less anxiety, etc.
But the reality is we're always rushing around to get out. I mean, you really have to pre-plan to be able to do that.
You do have to pre-plan. Another way is to talk to your boss or wherever you work and see if you can stagger your commute time. Because some of the problem with the commute time is really just rush hour. And so if you can go in a little earlier or perhaps a little later, work a little later, depending on your personality, you have less traffic, then your commute can be shorter as well.
And what about physical pain, things like that?
Well, if you stay in the car a long time, you can end up with an increase in back pain. It also can affect your neck, which a study showed recently. In fact, if the commute is more than 90 minutes, then people do literally have ongoing neck and back pain. So even doing some neck exercises, moving your back a little bit, putting a pillow in your back if you have a long commute, can be very helpful.
You know, between the pain in the neck from driving the car and then once you get to work and you're at your computer, I would imagine that chiropractors and massage they're going to be in work forever.
They are going to be in work forever. And a study came out a couple of months ago showing that if you're sitting at the computer at work, if you get up for 5 minutes every hour, that really does help your back pain, neck pain, stress, etc. So I've tried to do that myself in my medical practices, to get up every hour for about 5 minutes away from my computer and seeing my patients. It really does help.
Well, it sounds like it could help, and it also sounds like we need to, do whatever we can to de-stress these days. Anything else you recommend, doctor, about commuting and clearing your mind?
Well, for one thing, just to have a little downtime is great. So turn off the social media a little bit part of the day. A lot of companies now are having no email Fridays because they're realizing that can cause stress too. I was just in an establishment this morning getting a cup of coffee, and 2 people ran into me literally because they were too busy looking at their cell phone to walk through the establishment. So put it down just a little bit. It doesn't mean we shouldn't stay connected. Of course we should. It's great for us to do that. But have some downtime from it as well. That will decrease stress.
Health and wellness expert Dr. Pamela Smith on the Kogo News Live line. We need to de-stress, especially if that's going to be a tough one if we have a long commute.
All right, thanks, Doctor. Kogo News Time, 5:46.